Anything can happen in the preparations for the Olympic Games, but I hope this works out. Guys, Bloodboom Bobby here, coming to you with another Paris 2024 Olympic story. So it turns out that Paris 2024 will not be using a permanent swimming facility located near Stade de France, which is the athletic stadium where the opening and closing ceremony is going to be held. Instead, the organizers have decided on using a temporary venue. This temporary venue will be housing the swimming events, and that it will house 15,000 spectators. And now there will be a permanent venue for water polo, which is going to have a couple swimming pools, and that permanent venue will house 5,000 people, but it will be reduced to 2,500 following the Paris Olympics. Personally, I'm pretty much down for this idea, especially since the Rio 2016 Aquatics venue was actually supposed to be a temporary venue, but we'll get into that because, I'm down for the idea of something that is a temporary venue because it could easily be dismantled after the games, or in the Paris case, they're gonna take it down and then they're gonna leave the two water polo pools behind. Probably going to be for things like children's swimming lessons and so forth. I'm hoping it doesn't subject to what happened with Rio's aquatic venues. They were basically going to tear down this aquatic venue and replace it with a couple of community pools, and things fell through, never really happened. And at least as of 2017, the Olympic aquatic venue pretty much remains in ruins. If you go look up pictures, I don't know if I'll put them in the video because of IOC copyright issues, but if you look at pictures of this venue, you see walls are coming apart, and even when it was open during the Olympics, there were other issues. Probably most infamously, the water turned green because of algae at one point, and I actually read a report that said the athletes complained that the pool smelled, and I quote, like farts. I'm just hoping that I really like this idea of having a temporary venue. The only question is, are Paris organizers going to be able to keep it clean, so that it doesn't stink during the Olympics, and will it be torn down after the Olympics? Although I will give in Rio's defense, there were there were a lot of other issues. I think there was another arena, the Future Arena, that was supposed to be torn down and made into schools, and nothing came of it. But I think a perfect example of an Olympic aquatic venue that was able to stay, and it's part of Paris's plan too, although not to this extent. The aquatics venue for London it still exists today, and they're actually using that for swimming lessons for both adults and kids. Families can come swim, and there's even a gym inside. So that's an example of an aquatics venue that is super sustainable. I actually like that idea a lot more than Beijing's water cube. In case you guys don't know, after the Olympics, I watched a video on Business Insider that said that the water cube, it's being renovated for events for the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics, but they basically turned the inside of the water cube into a water park, and it's also used for fashion events. And even though the water park idea is nice, it's kind of the way it's put in, it kind of just looked like Beijing's, I guess you could say, the city government just didn't know what to do with it, and it's just put a couple slides and a water park in, and there you go. And yeah, no, it just kind of has a bit of white elephant syndrome. And even the water cube, which, as you would guess, is a permanent venue in comparison, I heard it lost. Business Insider said that it lost about $100 million, and it was one of the more sustainable Beijing venues in comparison. So since Paris's venue is temporary, it is a good sign in that it's not going to be around. It's not going to be a white elephant that'll be around for years and years and years, and Paris taxpayers are going to have to pay to keep it alive, even if Paris does absolutely nothing with it. So all I can say is I'm really hoping that it will be temporary stadium, and that it keeps with Olympic Agenda 2020. So far, though, it seems like Paris 2024 is sticking to the Agenda 2020 pretty well. They're using a pre-existing athletic venue, Stade de France. I think many of the venues are pre-existing, or if they... Yeah, most of them are pre-existing. I know when I did my Paris esports video a while back, I said that the place that they're holding handball, the Paris Expo, they're currently doing renovations for that. And don't quote me on this. I think I read that Champ de Mars, or if I'm pronouncing that wrong, my French is terrible. It's the green field in front of the Eiffel Tower. I heard they're going to be using that for, I think, beach volleyball, if I'm correct. Paris 2024 is in a good place right now, but as I said in my Sion 2026 bid video, every Olympic game, again according to Business Insider, and trust me, I use way more sources than Business Insider. If you want to see my specific sources for this Paris story, I will have them in the description, that every Olympic game in the last 50 years has gone over budget, namely Beijing 2008 and Sochi 2014, and that's the one that I think a lot of countries are really scared of. That was suspected to be one of the reasons why Switzerland dropped the Sion 2026 bid, even though Rio was a success in that it was a lot cheaper than Beijing's. The thing about Rio's was that it was very poorly planned, and a lot of the venues or basically turn into whiteout flints. Like if you look at even the Maracana Stadium, even though that's been around for years, you go look on the inside, at least last I've heard, the grass has started to turn brown. And even though Pyeongchang 2018 was overall very successful, the thing about that is, it's only the first Winter Olympic Games since Sochi 2014. So, it's just basically one example. So and it's kind of a rocky road. Will Olympic venues keep going down this more sustainable, and that they'll still remain cheap and so forth, especially since Tokyo 2020, as of recently, word is that games is costing around $20 billion, which is definitely up from both London 2012 and Rio 2016. But the bright side is, and as of right now, Paris 2024 is costing around $8 billion, and word is that LA 2028, the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics, should cost around $5 billion. If they could still remain in the ballpark of around $10 to $13 billion, yes, that's a lot of money, but it's still going in this kind of steady, even sort of downward trend. So, will Paris 2024 end up costing $8 billion? Will it be around $5 billion less than Rio? It remains to be seen, because it could still very much well go over budget, but I hope this trend continues, and maybe for Tokyo 2020, they could do things. I mean, it's so weird because, that should be another video in itself, but 3/4 of Tokyo 2020's venues are pre-existing. The only thing was, again, preparations were kind of rocky, in that the Olympic Stadium, like if you guys remember, the original proposal for the new Olympic Stadium costed around $2 billion, so Prime Minister Shinzo Abe scrapped it and said, okay, we're going to use a new design, and they did, and it's around, last I checked, around $1.6 billion, so I am a little concerned with Tokyo, but I'm hoping that with Paris and LA, if they could get it to around 10 to 13, just like Rio and Pyeongchang, and have very sustainable venues, which the bright side is for both cities is that many of the venues are pre-existing, then I think the Olympics will have a bright future ahead. So, alright guys, this has been Bobby. Let me know your thoughts, and not just regarding the Paris swimming, the Aquatics venue, but also let me know your guys' thoughts on the other venues for the Paris Olympics, or even the other upcoming Olympics, like the Tokyo Olympics, the LA Olympics, and the Beijing 2022 Olympics. I would like to know your thoughts. Please leave them in the comments below. If you have any ideas for Olympic news stories, my email is in the description, and you can also tell me in the comments. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.